Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Resend Things. Alright, here we go. It is finally the time for our Christmas wreath-a-thon. Who's more excited than me? Nobody! A few months ago, we did a wreath-a-thon, again hosted by Nadia from DIY with Nadia, and we had such a blast doing it, and I know you all out there had such a great time from all of the feedback that we received. We just decided we had to join forces again and really do a Christmas wreath-a-thon. How does the wreath-a-thon work? It's really easy. There is a link right down below in the description box. You'll see it right there in blue. You click that link and that'll bring you to a playlist listing all 6 of our videos. All you got to do is you click on the video, you watch it. You click on the next video, you watch that one. And then you click on the next one and then the next. Well, you get the idea. Welcome to our Christmas wreath-a-thon hosted by Nadia from DIY with Nadia. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you how I put this wreath all together. I have purchased this oval wreath from Unique in the Creek, and all the products today come from Unique in the Creek. This metal Believe in the Magic of Christmas sign, 10.5 by 10 yard Deco mesh. This is a snowdrift in red, and a couple of rolls of ribbon. This is 2.5 inch wired ribbon. And again, all these products come from the Unique in the Creek, along with cable ties. And today I'm going to be using some red and white pipe cleaners, some pearls, and cable mount ties as well. To start off, I'm going to cut my Deco mesh, and I'm cutting the Deco mesh at 16-inch lengths. And I'm just using a rotary cutter here. You can use scissors if you want, but it's a total of 20 pieces at 16-inch lengths of the Deco mesh that you choose. I am also cutting my ribbon at the same time, getting all my cuts over and done with. And my ribbon, I am cutting at a 14-inch length. So I have 2 ribbons, and for each ribbon, I'm cutting them at 14-inch lengths, but 10 pieces for each ribbon. So it's a total of 20 pieces. And I'm just going to do a little shortcut and kind of use one as a template and cut my 10 pieces for the pattern number 1 and 10 pieces for my pattern number 2. And when I'm finished cutting all my lengths, I'm going to fold it over and give it a dovetail right at the end. So you see here I'm using 2 pieces at the same time, folding it in half, cutting on an angle at the ends, and I'm going to do the second ribbon as well. So all 20 of my pieces, I am doing dovetails on both ends. So for our Santa oval wreath, I'm using an oval wreath frame purchased from Unique in the Creek. The Deco mesh is 10.5 inch by 10 yards. I'm cutting it at 16-inch lengths and 20 pieces of it. For the ribbon is 2.5 by 10 yards, cut at 14 inches, 10 pieces for each ribbon, a total of 20 pieces of ribbon. And that's what I'm going to be using to make my wreath. Here is our oval wreath. It has 3 sets of holes all in a line, all spaced out nicely, pre-drilled for us. And at the very top, we have 2 holes. That is going to be used for hanging. And I'm going to start right at the top there. The back side, you can see it's all drilled all the way through. They're all pre-cut. And again, at the top, you have those 2 holes for the hanger. What I'm going to do is take a cable tie and feed it through the first, and then I'm going to bring it through the second hole there. Now, do not, at this point, put them together. I know in the past we have put them together. For this wreath, we're going to leave it open, and then we're going to leave an open space. And then on the other hole, we're going to do the same thing. So you're kind of putting your cable tie in 2 holes, skipping one, putting your cable tie in 2 holes on the outside, all the way around. And don't forget to leave those cable ties open. We don't want to close them off just yet. And here we're all done. We've got 10 cable ties on the 2 outside holes. And now it's time to grab a piece of mesh and a piece of ribbon for our first attachment. We're going to fold the ribbon in half, squeeze it down the center, and then fold it down so it kind of almost overlaps each other. We're going to flatten it out a little bit. And then I'm just going to pinch the end for it to keep its shape. And then we're going to take our deco mesh and we're going to use the ruffle method for this wreath. So I'm going to place it curl side down, and then I'm just going to grab a little rock. I have a decorative rock here made by my sister-in-law, very talented woman, by the way. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my fingers up through the center, gathering that deco mesh in my fingers as I walk up the mesh. And what I normally do is the cut ends, I usually try to fold underneath at the very end. And now we create our little ruffle. It looks like a little bow tie, and we're going to attach it to our wreath. So I'm going to start right at the top again. That has the 2 holes for the hanging. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the little ruffle right in between, right at the middle. I'm going to hold it there, and then I'm going to grab my ribbon and place that on top. And I'm not going to secure it just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to allow it to click a couple of times, and then I'm going to turn the wreath frame around, and I'm just going to position the ribbon and the deco mesh how I want it before I really come in and secure that cable tie nice and tightly. So I'm just making sure everything kind of faces the outward, because I want it all to face outward. And once I'm done that, I just pull that cable tie nice and tight and move on to my next one. And since I'm using 2 different ribbons, I'm going to alternate with the ribbons, and I'm going to fold that in half, overlap it a bit, flatten it out, and then pinch the insides so it stays in shape. And again, we're going to grab that deco mesh. This is again 16-inch length deco mesh and 14-inch length ribbon. I'm going to place my thumbs down, and then I'm just going to walk my fingers right up the center point until I've gathered the entire piece of deco mesh, creating another ruffle. Once that ruffle is created, I'm going to come in to my second free cable tie that's still open, and I'm going to place that right in the middle there. Once I've placed it, I'm going to hold it in place. I'm going to grab my ribbon, and I'm going to place that right in the middle as well, making sure my ribbon faces out and my deco mesh faces out before I tie it nice and tight. I want to make sure that ribbon is kind of on top and that it spreads outward before I tie it right in place. So I just fiddle around with it a little bit, and then once that's done, I pull it really tight, take my scissors, and I'm going to chop off the excess. And then it's time for me to move on to the next one and the next one and repeat the whole process over and over again until the outside is full and colorful and festive. And now when I move into the inside, what I'm doing is I'm attaching the cable ties through one single hole. The outside we did 2, but then the inside we're only going to do 1. So I'm going to do it the opposite of what I did for the first row, if that makes sense. So the outside row, remember how we skipped one section? We did holes, and then we skipped holes, and then we did holes again. We put our cable ties in. I'm going to do the same thing, but opposite. So wherever there's no hole or no attachment, I'm going to do the cable tie for the inside. And how we do the inside is the exact same way that we did the outside. We create our ruffle, we come in, we place it down with the ribbon as well, and then we're going to attach and close that cable tie nice and tight. So I'm just going to do this over and over again, alternating between my ribbons and my mesh. I'm just going to throw in there. This is the last one. Almost done with our mesh and our ribbon. And wait till you see how this looks. I just love how this came out. Such a classic look to it as well. Here is our wreath. It is all done and ready for our embellishments. The first thing I'm going to do is prep my sign. And I just have these cable tie mounts. I don't know if you've ever seen them before. They are a game changer. I love using these. I'm going to use 2 of them to attach that to the back of the sign, and then we can attach that to the frame. So I'm just taking some glue, attaching it down for both of those pieces with my hot glue gun, making sure they're nice and secure. And the beauty part of these is all you have to do is you just take your pipe cleaner and feed it through. I give it a couple of good twists so I make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and then you can attach that to your wreath frame. Also, the sign had a couple of holes on it, and what I usually do is I put some glue down right where the hole is, and I'm going to take this little pearl bead and attach that onto the hole such that it hides that hole right at the top. It's a nice little way to kind of finish everything off. And this red pipe cleaner, I'm just going to feed it through the bottom hole, as that's where I'm going to attach my bow. So the holes are there, you can use them, you don't have to use them. I decided to cover one up, and I'm going to use the bottom one for my ribbon bow. And speaking of bows, here we go. I'm going to take my first pattern bow, and I'm going to use the 0, 7-inch, and 14-inch markers to make this bow. So 7 inches is going to be my center. I'm going to fold it over at the 14-inch mark, twist it and curl it at the 7-inch mark, and I'm going to fold it over again at the 0-inch mark, and that's going to create our first couple of loops. Again, when you hit the center, twist it so the good side is facing down. At the 14-inch mark, come back, twist it again at the 7-inch mark, and then do the same thing, twisting, turning, and bringing it back. So here I'm done. I'm going to cut it at the 8-inch mark, so there's a little overlap right in the center. I'm going to hold it together, squish it down the center, make sure I have the 2 loops on each side. I'm going to take the frame, and then I'm going to place our bow ribbon right there. I am also going to cut a tail for this, and the tail on the first one I'm going to do at 24 inches. And all I'm going to do is dovetail the ends, fold it in half, and squish it together like we did our previous ribbons, and place that right into the pipe cleaner as well. For my second ribbon, I'm going to use the 6 and the 12. I'm going to do it a little bit smaller than I did the first ribbon. The first ribbon I did 7 and 14. This one I'm using the 6 and the 12-inch mark. 6-inch mark being the center point, 12-inch being the end. And my 24-inch tail, I'm going to put that in first, and then I'm going to put my bow, just like we did the previous bow, right in the center. Give it a couple of really good twists, cut it off. And what I like to do is I like to bend it over, and then I like to add a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that that doesn't come undone. Now to attach it, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use those white pipe cleaners that I used to attach to the sign. I'm going to use those to attach through the holes on the wreath frame. So I'm just going to feed it through, give it a couple of really good twists, make sure it's even on both sides. I just count down the holes that I've used, and I'm just going to twist that in place, and I'm going to place a little hot glue down there as well, just to keep that all secured. And then all I'm going to do is my favorite part. If you watched my videos before, you know I love to fluff ribbon and fluff bows. So I'm just going to come in, separate those loops, open them up a little bit, and just start fluffing that ribbon all the way around. Look at that wreath coming to life. And a little twist, I'm just going to crinkle up my little tails at the top, in between my fingers, just add a little dimension and interest to the wreath. But there you go. We have our oval Believe in the Magic of Christmas wreath, all ready for the festive season with that big bow, those beautiful colors. I just love how this wreath turned out, and I hope you do as well. I just love these 2 pattern ribbon together. Our little Christmas trees, and then the black and red and, the black and red, ribbon. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Christmas wreath-a-thon. Don't forget to click that link right down below, which will bring you to the playlist, and then that'll list all the videos there for you to watch in our Christmas wreath-a-thon. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really had a great time and I hope you did as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.